Welcome everybody to the Joel Fernandez Show. Wait a minute. Hey guys, what's going on? Joel's back with another reasoning session where I challenge the status quo of the wisdom of the world and the church by diving deep into the ancient scriptures and applying them practically to our present circumstances. And today I'm going to be talking about you not winning your battle. Even if you're doing everything right, there might still be an underlying cause that you've overlooked that is causing failure.
Come now and let us reason together. Come now, we can talk it over.
But before I begin, I gotta say, if you like these videos, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe for more like videos, because I'm always making videos like this. Even if it's not reasoning sessions, I'm challenging the status quo of what's been going on for generations, and I'm exposing the lies and bringing deeper insight into things that, you know what, congregations have been sitting on for ages, but we can literally take it out and apply it to our own lives and manifest Earth 2.0. But with that out of the way, I'm just going to jump right into it. Today we're going to be reading from the book of Yehoshu, or Joshua in the English, whose name literally means Jehovah saves. And we're going to be looking at the failure that the Israelites had when they went up to battle the city of Ai. 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 Not AI. Ai. There's a line in there. Make sure you get that ah sound. Now in the story, they've just taken Jericho, or Jericho, where they circled the walls for 7 days. But when they were plundering the city, look at what Yahweh tells Joshua. And you, in any wise, keep yourselves from the accursed thing, when you take of the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it. Now, in Hebrew, the word that's translated accursed thing is literally cherem, which is kanya to the Arabic haram, which just means like a prohibited thing. And what was prohibited? Well, let's find out. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto Yahweh. They shall come into the treasury of Yahweh. So right there we have the precious metals and the vessels of brass and iron as well, all consecrated to Yahweh, or that concept of God that's associated with cyclical justice and existence in eternity through the ebb and flows of nature. But after they had spoiled the city, look what it says at the beginning of chapter 7. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Harmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Yehuda, took of the accursed thing, and the anger of Yahweh was kindled against the children of Israel. So of course here we see that the anger of Yahweh is the personified explanation of that system of justice. And there was a whole reason why they were commanded to actually obliterate all living things. It's because they were involved with all this kind of inbreeding and gene manipulation, and there was some pretty dark stuff going on in these kind of city-states at that time. And that's why Jehovah, Yahweh, this idea of cyclical judgment, insisted that all of that had to be purged from the gene pool. But on their next campaign after that, when they went against the city of Ai, and the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, for they chased them from before the gate even unto Shevarim, and smote them in the going down, wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water. So, we see that the children of Israel had been promised to be given the promised land. But look at what happened. And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of Yahweh until the evening, he and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads. And Yehoshu said, Alas, O Lord Yahweh, wherefore have you at all brought this people over Jordan, to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites, to destroy us? Would to Elohim we had been content and dwelt on the other side of Jordan. Jordan being the river that divides the land in half from north to south. But here's Yehoshu, and he's crying out to God. And when you're in distress, you think God's first name is O Lord. What shall I say when Israel turns their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and shall environ us round, and cut off our name from the earth. And what will you do unto your great name? So here he is groveling on the floor before the ark of the covenant. And Yahweh said unto Yehoshu, Get up! Wherefore do you thus lie upon your face? Israel has sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Therefore, The children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you any more, except you destroy the accursed from among you. And so after setting the people aside and getting them to sanctify themselves, they narrowed it down from tribe to family to the household, and finally Achan was brought before Yehoshu. And Yehoshu said unto Achan, My son, give, I pray you, glory to Yahweh God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what you have done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Yehoshu and said, Indeed, I have sinned against Yahweh Elohe of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them, and took them, and behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it. So right there we have the precious metals, which in any form was supposed to be consecrated to the service of Yahweh. But on top of that, he says a Babylonish garment. That means the robes of Babylon. And later on, when you get through the scriptures, you realize that Babylon represents that oppression that Abraham actually had to come out of to realize the divine God. El Shaddai, the divine that actually speaks from your breast. The still small voice of God that speaks from your heart. And then after the whole kingdom period, they went back to Babylon because through the exploits of the 4 Hebrew children, Nebuchadnezzar, the king who actually destroyed the temple in Jerusalem, acknowledged that the God of Daniel and his friends was source creator. But anyway, after Joshua sent people to find what was hidden in the tent, they took it all out and laid it before Yahweh. And the punishment that he had to face for bringing such an outcome on the nation was to be stoned to death and then burned with fire, him and his entire household. Which, yeah, sure, it sounds very harsh from our modern day, but when you think about it in terms of the deeper meaning, it's an explanation of no matter how little sin you have, and no matter how you try and hide it, it still affects your whole life. No matter what you're trying to overcome, no matter how many angels you dispatch, no matter how much you envision the end from the beginning, all of that won't matter because this deliberate will that you have to contravene what you put out is what you get back. If you're doing that, even if you're hiding it, you know that it's wrong. And it literally is going to stop you from receiving manifestations left and right. So you got to step back and consecrate to source what is sources. And don't get involved with things that, you have that inner conviction that you shouldn't get involved with in the first place. Always trust source, always trust the divinity. Realize that what's prohibited is for your own benefit so you can actually tap in with source and download those potentials for your life, because that's how we overcome. We grow from step to step, and when we leave the old stuff behind, we actually gain more battleground. And the good fight of faith is only good because it's already been won. So we have to walk in that authority, and I'm actually going to be covering that very subject in my next live session this Saturday. So watch for that. But with that being said, I'm going to sign out here. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Stay strong and really do that inner work and realize what's just holding you back from that potential of actually walking in victory with Source Creator, with the living logos guiding your step. So I'll check you in a future video. Joel signing out once again. Agape. Salaam. Namaste. Shalom. So I'll check you in a future